we have to get rid of 90% of the staff. It was absolutely crushing, but we decided in that moment, like, this is about the business surviving.
It's March 2020. What's the first thing that you thought about as you started to consider the implications for Rockway?
It happened in the beginning of March, meaning February was still kind of like people knew it was going on, but not that people didn't take it seriously, but it didn't disrupt business just yet. And March was just like dominoes, just everything started crumbling super fast. We tried to keep things reality, right? We tried to be super honest with ourselves. We didn't want to err on the side of optimism. I'm a pretty optimistic guy, but in this case, and something that had such a lack of control of and something that none of us had ever seen before, there's no way we erred on the side of complete caution versus optimism, just because we felt like there was no other way. It was almost like pure survival mode. So one of the discussions that was key was obviously when this was seriously starting to happen, there was so much happening where people were deciding what next, what to do. And we kept having these discussions and we really just kept rounding to the same thing, which is like, we don't know what's going to happen, but we know how much cash we have. And then we know what our expenses are. And then we know what type of expenses we can cut. And we know what sort of expenses we're going to have to sustain for as long as we're basically a business. And when we just started doing simple math, we just said to ourselves, we have to get rid of 90% of the staff now, today, not tomorrow, not a week from now. It was absolutely crushing, but we decided in that moment, like, this is about the business surviving. The business has to survive if anybody ever wants to come back. Like, nobody can ever come back to whatever if we felt like we thought it was good if it doesn't survive. So a lot of companies in our industry, ones who went out of business even now, they furloughed, right? They played like a chicken and an egg game, like, oh, you'll come back. Oh, it'll be June. We didn't tell anybody that. It was a super difficult. I had everybody in our showroom. It's like everybody knew. It was just a brutal discussion. We were just looking at facts. We were looking at money. We were looking at dollars. We were looking at what's going on in the world, the uncertainty. We just made a decision. We're like, we are not going to err on the side of optimism. No chance. I'm skeptical as hell, but I typically walk the tightrope of optimism. And we just didn't in that moment at all. And then just made decisions. And we turned out to make the right ones. Brutal day, tough day, but we made the right call.